Today we are going to talk about one more aspects of Cognos. I mean the internal structures of Cognos. So I hope you have gone through the other videos and you've got a good understanding of Framework Manager, how to create reports and all that. And also you have gone through the pretty well about the modeling part of it. So I'm going to talk about how Cognos stores the data and what are the different objects types at a little bit more details. So here, as you see, that we have our simple model where we have the test one, which is a namespace, and we have different query subjects. Then we can have another namespace here, and then we can define another set of query subjects, or we can source the query subjects from another namespace. So let me show you how that works. So let's say this is, and we want to create another namespace. So you click here at the root level and you say okay, I think we have to put it here. So you click at here and then you say create namespace. So now if we create it here, then it will do at under test1, so which we may not like to do. So the right way of doing it is that you first create under root, you create your main master namespace, and under master you create sub namespaces. So let's start maybe a fresh one. So let's say this is, we create a so we can say one namespace for one namespace for, let's say, one namespace you want to associate with your database, so you call it a model, or maybe it's better even if it's data model. And then the other one you want to call it as more user friendly, so which is would be used by your end user who are, let's say, business folks. So you want to call it maybe business model. Okay, or maybe you just say business. So here in this data model you can define your objects. Now since you have already all of them defined here, so you can just create shortcuts. So you can create shortcut. Oh, okay, sorry, we ended up creating a shortcut somewhere else. So actually you can define this itself as a shortcut to test1, or you can again run your metadata wizard. So let's assume that this we don't have anymore, we're starting fresh. So we define a data model and then we run the metadata wizard and we get all our objects. So we just get all the tables. So we get all our tables, and then under business you create a query subject, which are, let's say, we call it sales agent. So we want to create the query subjects here in the business which are more user friendly, and then we expose this business model to the end user and not the data model, because data model will have column names which which you may not need or may look confusing. And then what you do is that you get the column name. So for agent, right, you don't need the agent ID, region ID, manager ID. All you need is basically sales agent name. So as you see, what we have done here is that we've got a again, assume that in our test is not there, we are starting fresh. We've defined a data model, we got imported all the data model, all the tables, and then we define a business one, and then we are keeping only the columns which I want to expose to my end user, which are basically report user. So we have defined a sales agent, and we are aliasing them, and maybe here also you can alias the name to agent name and keep it proper case, because you want to keep the case fine, because these are the names which are going to show in the report. Then maybe you can define one, then you can create a folder. Let's say you can call it sales measures. What that means is that, or you want to create all the fact information here. So under sales measure, so the idea is that you will create all the sales related data, and sales related data could be inventory, could be sales. So let's say we created a query subject called sales, so which basically essentially would have sales transaction, let's say. So, and all it needs to have is the sale date and sale amount. Okay, so here we have two amounts. Now you can have even nesting under sales measure. You can create another folder and group it to something else. But see, the idea is that now, and here you can have you can create another. We don't have a lot of tables, so we don't have a lot of ways to show. But you can create another query subject called maybe sales inventory, or potential deals, or who knows, in sales inventory, something like that. And then you can define the other query subjects. So then you can nicely group these things. And so this is the way you can have define your this is in a most of the Cognos implementation in real life. They have at least 2 or 3 namespaces, and they have linked in this way. So typically one you would create more like user focused, and one is more like your database focused. In that way, even if the database gets updated or you have to refresh, you can just apply this, and then you can have you can have your business query subjects intact. The other tactics which is followed is, let's say if you have primary key, foreign key relations. Now remember, every time the database changes and you have to refresh, you have to pretty much override existing the ones. That means you destroy all your relations. So let's say if you want to inherit relations and then define some more relations on top of that, you don't do it in the same model. So in this model, you inherit on the database relation, and on top of that, if you want to define some more relation, you do it in the business, because doing it here in the data model would destroy it, because every time you refresh your data model because of underlying DB changes. So that's one thing. The other thing I would like to show you is that Cognos, how Cognos stores the data. So if you go to the folder, so you see two most important files. One is the model.xml and there is test1.cpf. So CPF is a small file, 2 KB, but all your which is just has a meta information, but all the details of all the objects, relations, their query subjects, query items, all are stored in model.xml. And model.xml looks something like this. As you see here, you have your, it's just like a XML file, typical XML file, which represents your hierarchy of the Cognos model. Here you have lots of query subjects. Here you have a namespace which is test1. Then you have your query subject. Query subjects again is agents, and then you have the definition, which is your data sources test1, which is the table, and then it has a query select star from test1, which is basically gets all your columns. Then you will have your query items. See, you see query items agent ID. So it just represents the your underlying model. So that's it for this one. Thank you.